to adopt a policy to reduce pesticides on the schools? Can we get the city council of the city of Santa Barbara, for example, to adopt a policy to reduce pesticides in the city boundaries? In fact, that's a very successful project that we worked on, is to encourage Santa Barbara officials to adopt a policy to reduce pesticides, and in 2 years alone they've been able to reduce pesticides by over 80%. That's a very concrete example of things that can be done. And what it shows is that we don't need pesticides. We are not reliant on pesticides as many people would have us believe. In fact, pesticides only have come onto the scene in the last 40 to 50 years. Before that, we did not use pesticides. And we had food, we fed the country, we had trade with other nations. So it's a large myth that the only way we're going to feed our country is by continuing the use of these pesticides. In fact, we know that these pesticides can cause cancer or nerve system problems. And so we are using chemicals that are not necessarily benefiting our country and our people, but instead are having some very serious lasting impacts on the negative side. And it's for those reasons that we need to really take these concrete steps to reduce chemicals. There's some great examples of alternatives that can be used in one's home. Products like white vinegar, baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, olive oil, all of these different things that are extremely inexpensive. They're safer for our health and the health of our families, and they also do the same job that a chemical counterpart would do. For example, instead of using a toxic aerosol spray to kill ants, soap and water are just as effective. To unclog drains, baking soda and vinegar. So there's a whole suite of steps that can be taken. And one of the places that people can get more information is our website, which is www.ccehp.org, and that'll walk people through some contacts and through some steps that they can take, as well as a whole suite of information on pesticides and alternative products. So I think it's very important to recognize that in our agricultural settings, we use a lot of chemicals. We use a lot of pesticides. And then you take that and you put side by side the amount of pesticides that are used in the home setting, and we are using millions and millions of pounds of chemicals as a society. These pesticides end up in our water, they end up in our air, they end up in our food. And these are the most important things to human life on this planet: air, water, and food, sustenance. So the amount that we can reduce these chemicals from the air, the water, and our food, the better off and the more healthy we are going to be as a society. And this is especially important for our children, who not only are more susceptible to chemicals and pesticides, but who are going to inherit this planet from us. And it's for them that we really need to take heed and take steps to reduce our chemicals. So.